Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today, I actually have two questions of the day, which kind of defeats the purpose of question of the day since it's two. But my questions are: what is your favorite fruit? Because right now I have cut up some pineapple, and I was wondering what you guys liked. And also, do you believe in retiring early? Is that like one of your goals, or do you just want to work till the end because you like your job or something like that? So, without further ado, though, let's get into today's content because, again, it is a very exciting day. And what you're seeing in front of you is another example of just that. Ripple, this is why XRPL is superior to other public blockchains. Ripple CTO points out the advantages of the XRP ledger consensus algorithm compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Negative unique node list proposal could be introduced with the launch of XRPL 2. What? We have not talked about that on the channel before. So yes, you bet your ass I'm pretty excited to see what this is all about. So I guess the easiest way to go about this is to just watch all the Blockstars episodes, which David Schwartz is in. But in this case here, it was not even a podcast, but it was actually written out on the Ripple Insights page. And it is actually very, very exciting to see. So for all of you that have some time left, I recommend checking it out yourself. But yeah, we're talking about a 2.0. Guys, let's read through it. I'm sorry, I don't read that often full articles, but today is a special day with some special article. With the digital currency revolution continuing to gather pace, the debate between advocates of proof of work and newer agreement algorithms rages on. Beyond the rhetoric, the evolution of the consensus approach continues to make steady progress that, due to the design limitations, transactionally focused proof-of-work networks find it difficult to match. As the one only enterprise blockchain company today with payment products and commercial use, Ripple has found that the digital asset XRP enables its users to rapidly and inexpensively source liquidity, while also offering greater scalability than any other digital asset. The XRP ledger has a fundamentally different design for... Guys, give me a second. There's a mosquito on my screen. Okay, so what do? Do I slam the screen? Or do I just try to pinch it? I have hit, and I have succeeded. Yeah! I got him. Okay, we got him, boys. Sorry, that stuff is important to me because I don't know if you guys have have had a mosquito in your room any time in the last however long, but it can be very, very frustrating to have one of those mother in your area. It's not nice. Let's go on though, because I got kind of sidetracked. They're the only ones who can source liquidity while also offering greater scalability than any other digital asset. The XP Ledger has a fundamentally different design from proof-of-work based blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum. The consensus validation system XRPL uses follows and anti-robustness principle that elevates reliability. This provides the system with a built-in safety mechanism when safe forward progress is not clearly possible. XP Ledger does not make forward progress. Despite the existence of this consensus validation-enabled safety break, XRPL has demonstrated a reliability rate of more than 99.999% since it began operating more than 58 million ledgers ago. So, 58 million ledgers might not tell you too much, but if you actually start to think about how much quote-unquote work 58 million ledgers is and kind of how long that could take, it's pretty damn amazing. It's like 58 million pieces are stacked upon each other. It's kind of amazing if you start to think about it like that. XRPL's history of closing a ledger roughly every 5 seconds attests to this consistency. So yeah, that kind of makes it less heavy because you read every 5 seconds. But if you then start to think about what a ledger really is, it kind of becomes quite special that they've stacked 58 million of them on top of each other. I mean, yeah, the internet is a crazy thing, and thus, from a certain perspective, it's not that strange. But the fact that it is open, it's an open blockchain, kind of makes it very impressive if you start to think about it a little bit further. However, I am getting sidetracked. Let's go on a brief review. How public blockchains work. Again, what I just said, but let's get into it. The secret sauce of public blockchains like Bitcoin is that every participant can confirm that every transaction complies with all system rules. As a result, system state is public, transactions are public, and everyone knows which transactions are valid and which ones aren't. With such a system, validators are needed to tell anyone else which transactions are valid or what transactions do. The validity of each transaction is already available to every participant. Now, using consensus to defeat double spending and unintentional forking. Consensus, as it applies to the validation method utilized by the XRP ledger, refers to the need to solve the double spend problem. This problem occurs when there are two or more equally good ways to make forward progress. Consensus ensures dishonest participants can't trick honest participants into disagreeing over system state. So I think a lot of you guys are kind of, trembling on that note, like, consensus, I know that, but what are you talking about, Dusty, when you're talking about validation method, that they're using double spending? Double spending in this sense really means that there's two parties, right, who have kind of a, equal amount of respect or authority, and they both say something different, right? And in your mechanism, I think I ate something wrong. What the frick's going on? Yeah, you might see my demise right here, right on video. But in such a system, right, you always have to have a kind of fail-proof way to disprove that one of these is really the correct one, or that they are both the correct one. You need to disprove that one of them needs to come out as a bad guy that is kind of lying or not telling the real truth, because that step forward, which they're mentioning as making forward progress, is not a correct one, even though they might look equally good, right? So they're both looking like a real thing, but only one of them is the real way forward, and the other one is kind of a way sideways. It is a way forward, but it's not the correct way, kind of messing up your system. And that's really something that's very important, and every network, or every, consensus mechanism works a little bit differently on how they detect that and what they want to work towards it. But that's something you definitely got to have. And in such a system, the primary role of validators is to allow honest participants to agree on a way forward when two or more equally good ways to make forward progress exist. That's what those guys are for. I mean, this is all kind of, blockchain 101. I think anybody who's ever watched a video on blockchain knows this type of stuff, but it's still very important because I think a lot of the guys watching these videos are not that up to date. Maybe you've read about blockchain, but it's been 2 years ago. Trying to beef up your memory here for a little second. Consensus ensures dishonest participants can't trick disagreeing. In such a system, the primary role of validators is to allow honest participants to agree on a way forward when two or more equally good ways make forward progress exist. This approach thwarts attempts to double spend by preventing participants from being tricked by malicious parties into expecting the same funds to be delivered to two different destinations. Public blockchains have no central authorities to dictate the system or the rules, and every participant can choose whatever rules they want. However, participants who do not agree on system rules won't be able to interoperate with each other. This creates complexity and risk when system rules are changed. Consensus-driven systems can take a different approach. In the case of XRP Ledger, validators help protect against unintentional forking of the ledger by coordinating system rules changes. However, they cannot make any server accept a rule change it is not configured specifically to accept. To become effective after introduction, amendments to the ledger require 80% quorum approval for 2 consecutive weeks by the validator community. Again, what that kind of shows is, no one validator, no small group can just decide to change everything and fork off. There needs to be a 2-week 80% quorum approval by the validator community, so by all the validators that are in, that specific community, or all of them really. And once they all kind of accept it for 2 weeks, 80% at least, then the change can go on. But they've made it so that there can't just be a random miscellaneous change whenever some guys decide it. There needs to be a voting process, yada, yada, yada. XRPL consensus scheme using validators provides a cheap, reliable, decentralized, fast solution to the double spend problem. Its design also permits the network to be upgraded when participants agree to do so without the risk of accidental divergence. Okay, so now we get into the very interesting part, but again, I had to catch some of you guys up with how this stuff works. I'm so sorry if you've already bought, Ivan Ontek's course or something like that, which, guys, I see so many ads of that freaking thing. Really, I think maybe 10 to 15 a day, at least, every single day. My head is freaking blowing off. Like, why so intense? That aside, though, consensus as a reliable, decentralized, energy-efficient solution. All right, now we're going to see why XRP is better than Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the rest, and that an XRP 2.0 is coming up. While proof of work with the massive electrical usage and transaction cost inefficiencies the approach entails has proven to be a technological dead end, other consensus algorithms continue to innovate to provide better decentralization at lower cost and lower risk. Development continues on XRPL consensus algorithm to improve resilience. In this regard, the recently introduced negative UNL, which again stands for a negative unique node list. If you don't know anything about unique node lists, I recommend looking it up as well. If you've ever ran a validator, you'll most likely know what it is all about. Otherwise, it's basically just some kind of basket that Ripple gives you. I don't know who's the official senders of that, who kind of started that, but I think it's Ripple. They just kind of send you a list of guys you can kind of work with to ensure you'll be good. And a negative one could, in the way I see it, kind of be the opposite of that, of guys you should not be working with. That's the easy way to explain it. Is set to dramatically improve XRPL's ability to tolerate validator outages while still making reliable forward progress. This feature proposes bolstering the liveliness of the XRPL network via functionality that enables servers to keep track of validators which have gone offline temporarily. Armed with this information, servers can adjust quorum calculations to reflect the offline validators because a validator going offline for a short period of time is not necessarily a sign of unreliability. Negative UNL helps UNL publishers deal with scenarios, and again, this UNL is published by different guys. You can literally pop up a UNL. It's just that there's a standard UNL that Ripple gives, I believe, on, I don't know if it's the official website or so. I've just been reading up on that, that they have kind of a standard. Again, you don't have to go for that one. There's multiple, but it's just to give you guys some idea. And it helps them deal with scenarios where a validator is not down long enough to trigger removal from the UNL while still reflecting its offline status to ensure the network can make forward progress. Ripple and others in the community will be conducting extensive public testing of the negative UNL feature on the XRPL DevNet over the next few months. If this public testing meets all applicable requirements with regards to security, reliability, stability, and performance, an amendment to implement negative UNL functionality could be introduced for quorum review in a future version 2.0 release. For more information about building an XRP, go to the Ripple X platform or Spring. So it is not a joke. It is not a lie. This XRP Ledger 2.0, maybe he's trying to say something about XRP. No, he's not trying to say anything about XRPL DevNet 2.0. He's not saying anything about XRP UNL 2.0. It couldn't have been XRP negative UNL 2.0. So it definitely has to be talking about the XRPL network. It definitely has to be. So that is actually pretty crazy, guys. A 2.0 version is going to be popping up for the XRP Ledger. That is pretty damn heavy if you ask me, guys. Damn. So by the way, as to why XRP is better than both of them is mostly because it's a lot cheaper. And in a certain way, what they've kind of explained here is that it's pretty hard to fork it, which is kind of, safety type of thing, and also a not honest, but it's a central thing where it's like, okay, you just have one system and either 80% have to agree for 2 weeks or it's not going to be happening. It can't just be a small minor party who's like, you know what, let's build something else which looks a lot like it, kind of a fork off of it, which is, again, another very interesting thing to take notice of or kind of consider. Another part, of course, is that proof of work is a lot more cost heavy. It's very, very expensive to do, and this thing is relatively cheap if you start to think about it. Costs some electricity, yeah, but not really relevant amount, which again is kind of what they were going for here. So I had a lot of stuff to talk about here today, but I think we already got ourselves a good little head start. Some very important stuff. There's an XRPL 2.0 coming up. Yeah, what is going to be changing, guys? A lot of speculation on that one, I think. I think a lot of you guys will also pop in the comment section asking, what's going to be changing, what's going to happen to the price. Who knows? We don't even have a date. We don't even have a complete list of what's going to be happening. We don't even know if they are really talking about XRPL 2.0, but I'm kind of thinking that now. Looking at it, I think it's really the Ledger 2.0. What else could be in there? What else are going to be changing? Maybe, and this kind of makes sense, it's all because the XRP Ledger Foundation came around. And now the changes on XRP are going to be a lot more heavy. Maybe something along those lines is going to really, really push through right now and, change a lot for XRP in a positive sense. However, if there were normal amendments, they would all take 2 weeks and some, agreement and approval anyway. So it's not like they can really change those things heavily and easily. I'm kind of wondering how they would go about going for a 2.0 and if also the same rules apply. What will be in there? How are they going to make it better once more? What are they going to do, guys? Really, I'm excited to know. But we're going to keep that in our vision. We're going to keep that very, very close, and I'll talk you guys through it as I know more about this, about the situation. Bodybuilder who lost millions with XRP trade starts settlement talks with exchanges. Ooh. The Canadian bodybuilder who sued GateHub and Bitstamp over his botched XRP trade has started resolution talks. So I do not actually know too much about this one. Bodybuilder turned crypto trader Salim Satir, who sued Bitstamp and GateHub over botched trades back in April, has started settlement talks with the two crypto exchanges, according to a report made today. In his lawsuit, the plaintiff argued that he had lost $2.4 million after attempting to exchange XRP, the fourth largest crypto for Bitcoin, on GateHub in 2017. Okay. While detailing the incident, Satir claimed that he had received Bitcoin IOUs issued by Luxembourg-headquartered Bitstamp in lieu of the real thing. He accused GateHub of misleading users about its trading functionality. The IOU acronym stands for IOU. These are redeemable tokens that are issued on the XRP ledger. Whenever somebody sends Bitcoin between Bitstamp and Ripple, they receive Bitcoin IOUs that can be exchanged for the underlying asset. He wasn't able to withdraw his 872 Bitcoin from GateHub, losing millions due to volatility. Okay, so that's a difficult one to follow, really. In addition, the aggrieved Canadian national also accused GateHub for withholding the same amount of Bitcoin Cash that was forked back then. Maybe also Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin, and Bitcoin SV and things like that. Damn. That's a heavy one. It's a heavy claim. So there are some sides to, I guess, sending your Bitcoin over XRP in the form of IOUs, like Ari and I even were talking about a little bit earlier. I would even dare to say that Bitcoin IOUs on XRP are a very dumb thing. I've talked about this before in one of the videos where I said it's pretty dumb because literally what you're saying is, all right, let's go for a system where you have some sort of platform like XRP then, and you work with IOUs on top of that. What you're basically doing is kind of putting your demand for the crypto itself to another layer. You're like, you know what? You don't have to use this specific crypto that we have. No, you can use anything and just put it on top of us. How does that create net demand for XRP? If you can trade Bitcoin on there through the form of IOUs, they're still doing Bitcoin. And it's not like, you can literally just keep sending Bitcoin to Bitcoin over it all because you're still going to need a trustless system for it to work properly. Otherwise, it's kind of useless, because through the form of IOUs, it's always a trust system where you need to kind of trust the other party to fulfill their depth, right? Or to make sure that everything kind of works along. Otherwise, what's the point of all of it? I mean, it's IOUs. It's not like it's just the real thing. It's backed by the real thing. However, if some party were to kind of quit midway through, it's very annoying to fix it all. Meaning, there's really no point unless you kind of want to make it superficial, where it's like you do some small transactions and here and there and stuff. But then the main purpose of XRP is to be the middleman, to be a currency that you use if you can't really use the currency you wanted to. So the literal purpose of XRP should be nothing can be done on there. You have to do it through them. So it's like, okay, you change your Bitcoin to XRP, send it over because that would take a couple of seconds instead of a couple of hours possibly. And then that other guy changes it back to Bitcoin if he so wanted it to. or try to go more for a, you know what, why send Bitcoin if you can just send XRP or anything along those lines? Why would you ever need to send Bitcoin? The only reason you could ever want to send it is because, you know, you either want to move your Bitcoin around, which is a very valid option, but then why would you work with IOUs? Or if the specific person really requested Bitcoin. But then again, if you're going to work with IOUs anyway, again, a trust system, you could also tell them, you know what, let's transfer it to XRP and you transfer it from XP to Bitcoin right away, because it will save us both some money in transaction. It will save us both some time. And otherwise it would be IOUs. So why not just go for, you know, this system? So I don't personally get IOUs on XRP. I don't know why it would be a good thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just because, well, Bitcoin does become faster if you send it through IOUs. But then why would you use Bitcoin? You know, I just don't get the purpose. Because I guess I didn't specify that just now. If you're using Bitcoin on XRP, it does become a lot faster. So it's not like the normal Bitcoin time and things like that. It's just still kind of useless in my opinion. I don't see the point. Why would you ever go for that? If you guys have a good point, though, let me know in the comment section. I'm pretty eager to learn about that stuff. And more, I guess we'll talk about later. I had like 5 articles open here, but we're already 21 minutes in. So I think it's pretty good for now. I'm going to skip it. And I'll get back to you guys on this one later. There's a lot of cool stuff to talk about, but XRPL 2.0 is coming up, so check it out.